Welcome to Monday Morning Leadership Huddle. Good morning, leaders. I'm your favorite neighbor, Jay Murray. This is where I provide you with tips and tools to drive your leadership purpose. One thing that is constant, and that is change. Whether we're adopting the latest, greatest technology to improve our business or improve the way that we interact with each other, or if we're looking to improve our healthy habits, adopt healthy habits, adopt better money managing habits, change is constant. You know, we're either being driven by change around us, or we are the one that are driving the change for ourselves. But on the other end of that spectrum, change can be hard. It can be hard. Change can be very hard. And a great book that I highly recommend everyone to read, in which I'll include it in this podcast, a link in this podcast, and that is Switch by the Heath Brothers. How to Change When Change is Hard. It's a great book because it not only helps those that are in business, entrepreneurs, but also if you're looking to develop habits for yourself, change within yourself. And they break down change within, I guess you can say, these three buckets, where individuals can see themselves. And it also provides areas or ways that as leaders we can help those individuals embrace change. The first one is direct the writer. This is the rational thinker, that really looks at change and just kind of starts to overthink, analysis paralysis on how we're going to change, why are we changing, what's this going to change for me, all these different things, right? And one thing that we have to do, we have to provide clarity to them. Okay. Another area is motivate the elephant. This is the emotional individual that maybe find themselves emotionally tied to a process that's been changed, or they may be feeling mentally, emotionally fatigued from changing. And it's our duty to help them kind of shrink the change, really look at it in these very bite-sized pieces. And then there's the last one where you may find yourself in a situation that is really impeding on you embracing change. And as leaders, it's our job to really shape the path for them, remove these obstacles, remove these barriers for them to embrace the change. So today, I want to provide you three practices that I believe will help you to successfully manage change. And I'm going to use the Heath brothers illustration of change as a backdrop. Okay. And these change methods, practice I have implemented, I have seen others implement. It's something that I also look to do for myself when I am going through a new change or looking to adopt a new habit. Also, when I'm coaching others on, managing change, these are the steps that I use and I really look to practice. The first one that I believe, in order to successfully manage change, we need to practice communication. We need to communicate. We need to communicate. We need to communicate. We have to communicate. When we are managing change, it is our pretty much our responsibility as leaders is to communicate the why, to continue to cascade that why throughout our org, right? If we are looking to change something within ourselves, we have to communicate the why to ourselves. Why do I want to develop better money habits? Why am I looking for these? Why I'm looking to develop these health habits? We have to communicate that, and we have to really communicate that either in different ways, in person. If we're looking at how to change, we're leading a group. Communicate that in person. Communicate that by video. Communicate that in writing. We have to communicate. We have to overly communicate. This is the truly the foundation of successfully managing change is communicate. Is communicate. We have to communicate. Another thing to think about it if you are leading change within yourself is think about communication as, hey, can I get an accountability partner that I can communicate with? Okay. that will give me feedback, that will just be that listening ear, you know, that I can truly communicate and lean on to help me through this process, that I can share my why with. Yes, that I can share my why with, and they can help me re-anchor to that why when I'm feeling a little, you know what, I don't know about this. Communicate also, as you think about, again, those examples, illustration that the Heath brothers have in Switch is, this is where you provide those clear instructions. Those that may be that dealing in that rational space, that they're overthinking. Hey, no, no, no. Here's the clear instructions on how we're going to do it. Here's the clear instructions, okay, of how we're going to change, of how we're going to change. Clarity really helps to overcome resistance. Clarity helps to overcome it. Clarity resolves resistance. It's a wonderful way to resolve resistance. Okay. The next thing that we want to do, the next thing that we want to continue to practice in order to successfully manage change is that we want to practice a growth mindset. We want to practice a growth mindset. We want to look at this from the perspective of, you know what, little by little, we're getting better. Okay. I think about this also when we are dealing with that individual that maybe are emotionally tied to it, right? That we're becoming emotionally fatigued. This is where we want to come in and really demonstrate empathy, but also help them see the perspective, right? Where we can help them, the Heath brothers kind of call this is strengthen the change, right? Where we can strengthen the change and really break this down in incremental steps for them to give them a new perspective on, you know what, this is not as big as I thought. Yeah, this is not as big as I thought. Practicing a growth mindset. This is also going to help us when we're not really seeing the results that we're looking for, where we have to really be transparent with others that we're leading. We have to now develop self-awareness for if we're doing something that we're leading ourselves through, you know, we have to have that growth mindset to be transparent, to be self-aware, to allow ourselves to, you know what, to say, we're not seeing the results that we're looking for, which is okay, but here's what we're going to do in order to continue on in this process. Growth mindset. It is what we have to really develop. And we have to really allow people at this point to help them to embrace the change, to help them to embrace the change. And for us, even to embrace the change, we have to practice a growth mindset. Okay. The last thing that we want to do to really help us successfully manage change, another practice is that we have to celebrate the small wins. Celebrate the small wins. Really identify the bright spots. Yes, it may not be going as well as we thought. I'm not seeing the pounds, I'm not losing the pounds that I thought I'll be losing by this time. But you know what? I have lost some. You know what? We are seeing some improvements in the process. you know let's celebrate. Let's recognize the individuals that has helped to really embrace this change, the individuals that really have really become the change agents, right? When you think about, if you're a leader and you're over your team, this is a great way to recognize your team, recognize yourself, that, you know what, hey, we may not be, having these small ones, but you know what, I mean, we may not be experiencing, a big win, but this is still something that we should celebrate. We should recognize it. We should celebrate that, you know what, we're getting better. Here's this bright spot. Here's a bright spot for us to celebrate. You know, ah, I'm leading myself, completed the exercises. I did 5 exercises this week. Man, let's celebrate. Let's celebrate. Celebrate those small wins, because celebrating those small wins is going to help you build that momentum. It's going to give you the motivation to go forward, and soon enough, you're going to see, oh, these small wins now have accumulated into a big win. Those exercises, us having these, continue to make sure that we are staying committed to the process. Now we are seeing this huge win. Now we're experiencing a huge win because we was able to stay committed to the process, was able to see these incremental improvements, and now we're seeing a huge win. So, how can we successfully manage change? We need to practice communication. We need to practice a growth mindset, and we need to practice celebrating the small wins. Leaders, if this has been motivational, inspiring, don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and always remember that leadership is not a title. It's a choice. And today, I choose to communicate. I choose to have a growth mindset. I choose to celebrate the wins so I can successfully manage change. Family, till next time, be blessed.